some who are interested.
Yes. Yes.
And in between, if they want, they can ask me a question.
Yes.
Because I'm making a very important thesis right away. What my presumption is that most of these students have qualified the prelim and the main. Is that true?
Yes. Yes, sir.
So they are all preparing now for the last leg, which about to start.
True,
And
sir.
that is the personality test.
They have given means. Yes.
Yeah, that's also correct, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. So point I'm making to my friends was that when you qualify prelim in the main, the large battle you actually have won. The prelim exam has a large rejection rate from 6 lakhs to something about 15,000, depending on the number of vacancies. And then the main exam is such that you actually cover everything which you're required to learn as a group red. You learn language, you learn how to make your point clear, writing 2 essays. You do 4 general studies paper, which cover everything on earth in this setup. And you got what is called as 2 papers of optional. So there's nothing which actually is left by you which are not read. You are also quite aware that while preparing for the mains, everything, everyday incidents has also been covered, both in prelim as well as the main. So think that it is going to be a kind of, you have to read magazines once again. My presumption that all of you are continuously studying the current affairs, what you tend to call current affairs. And I always keep on saying what is represented and how the country is moving and what are the important events in the day-by-day activity or governance, you read continuously. So if you really ask me that what you should prepare further, I really don't know. More than that, what can you prepare is an absolutely a myth. All that what you require is that unlike other exams where it was you and a question paper, here it is you and there are 5 gentlemen who have a lot of experiences with you. So unlike where you are an entity dealing with a piece of paper, here you are dealing with live people. They can look at you, they can smile at you, they can see your face expression, they can look at you, how you are thinking your answers. So it's a relationship which you are trying to develop between yourself and the team. So the first point I like to make here is that unlike 2 other examinations, you as a candidate today, you as a candidate when go to personality test, you are meeting these 4 or 5 gentlemen who are very senior. So it's a very formal discussion between 5 people with a lot of experience and an aspiring bureaucrat. So assume that you have already covered so much in your life that you are almost there. So don't think that you don't know anything. You know everything. Only thing that confidence you have to bring in you to get in touch, look into their eyes and understand their questions, try to respond depending on what you think. So key point difference between the personality test and other tests is that it's a relationship which you are growing by your interaction with 4 or 5 people. You have to influence them by the kind of question answer sessions you would have. In mind you, they are not rapid fire question answer. It's not like they ask you question, you say yes and no. It's not a half a minute, half a line answer. They put up your question, they put up your scenario, and you think of that scenario and then try to respond depending on what you think is the best which can be said. Is this point understood?
Yes.
The difference between the prelim and the main, the major difference is that this relationship you have to develop. And most of you are scared that when these 5 senior people sit together, how do they look into you? My suggestion to you, please don't be scared. Because if you are scared, what are you going to gain? You are going to gain nothing. The advantage to you is that you have already qualified prelim in the main. Anything which is required to be read, you have read. All that precaution you have to take in some cases is that when you don't take subject of your graduation as your exam elective, you should also understand what you have studied in your university. Now, why I say so? You recall you have filled up a form. In the form, you have given your background. Have all of you given your background?
Yes.
Now, you are therefore telling the board and telling the commission about yourself everything which is possible. You told them where you were born, where you studied, which classes studied in which colleges, what are your achievements in academics. During the college study, what did you do in addition to academics? You also try to tell them something about your hobbies, something which interests you. Some of you are working, you also tell that. Now, what are these things in your opinion? Now, in fact, you are telling everything about your personality to them. Your personality is not built today when you prepare, sitting in your homes, prepare for civil service. Your personality is built the day you start going to school, the day you start interacting with people, you start accumulating, collecting information, the kind of magazines you read, the kind of books you read, kind of films you see, kind of music you love, kind of sports you see, kind of achievements in the university, in plays and dramas, and the essays you write. Now that makes your personality. 90% of the time, you believe that your personality is built when you prepare for civil service. In fact, no personality is built except when learning get improved. Can you now understand the difference between the learning you acquire during the time when you are preparing for prelim and main? It's a learning which you acquired. Learning to the point to qualify in the exam. But when you learn in your university, when you learn in school, that time you are not competing except the final exam. But your personality is built. How do you talk to your teachers? How do you talk to a friend? Which friends you make? And when you come to university, you also participate in various exams. Some of you must have been in job. And job itself adds certain values to you. And what values you do? That you understand the problem on hand, try to solve those problems within the framework of the company you are working. And as a part of the company, you are required to tell people what is in your mind in a very subtle way, in a simple way. So now understand, try to look at this picture once again. So you are before 5 experts. You have half an hour before you. You can easily imagine, it's not a great mathematics, it's a simple understanding. If there are 5 people and you get a half an hour at you, more than 6 minutes are not available. Is that correct?
Yes.
So,
Yes, sir.
I mean, things are so simple that you have half an hour with you. There are five people who are sitting there. Maximum, they will have 5 minutes with you because you will come and enter in the room, you say goodbye, I mean, good morning and blah, blah, blah. Sit down in the chair. Chairman will ask some questions. So all that left you 4 minutes per expert. So they will start interacting with you. Maybe it's a chance. They start talking something which you already declared. They might ask you hobbies. They might ask you the university has went. Maybe somebody knows the university to have gone and they start asking about the university. They can start asking what is the current status, who is the vice chancellor. There's nothing wrong about it because anything in the earth can be asked. Whole idea is that what does a bureaucrat do? Bureaucrat continuously collect information from anybody who meets him. Are you aware that each bureaucrat meets every day not only his subordinates and officers, but he also meets a lot of people in public. Number one, he also reads newspaper and know the activities. He also try to understand what is happening in the country so that he can align itself with the policies of the government. Now that is what you have to acquire in yourself. And when, if senior asks a certain bureaucrat, say sub-collector or a collector or a DC, he would be able to explain his mind on a given topic. That's all he does, isn't it? He, as and when a case comes to him, he reads that case and also write down a paragraph or few lines. Based on his opinion, he writes his opinion. Now that's actually the simulation in your personality test.